Hello and welcome to episode 22 of Always Patriot, the John Jay Soccer Podcast. I'm Brendan Horton, as always, joined by Coach Robert Seipp. Coach, how's it going?
Coach, how are you, man? I'm doing all right. I'm a little sore, I got to be honest. Attending a
Oh,
couple of Pilates classes this week with Mrs. Seipp Thursday night and Saturday morning. I went this morning. We're taping this Saturday night, and I'll tell you what, man, I'm using muscles I never knew I had, Coach, man. Mrs. Seipp opened up this Pilates studio in Hopewell right across the street from Pizza Village a couple weeks ago. Got 8 reformers in there, 8 mats, 8 springboard units on the wall. It's really an awesome place. It really is.
nice. That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
After my shoulder surgery, when I recover and everything like that, I'll be in there. I've heard a lot of good things. I've heard it's really, really difficult, but no, that's awesome. That's all. I believe that you're sore, man.
Yeah, it's really good stuff. I tell you, it's easy on the body too. And these pics that I've got up here, and some of the videos on the screen, you can't see me in some of them, but Coach, I swear I'm in the class. I swear I am. I'm up on the right screen right now. I'm the one in the back corner here. So if you look at this one on the back corner, that's me there. Camera didn't catch me too well, but I'm telling you, Coach, my form is good. I've got a great teacher in Mrs. Seipp, and thealignpilates.com is the website. So yeah, when that shoulder gets fixed, man, you got to join me in some of these classes. It's really good stuff. So between Mrs. Seipp's Pilates studio in Hopewell and Austin dragging me to the gym, and doing push-ups with the team, right? I thought we had a good week of practice. I thought we really worked the guys out well, and these guys, again, just are very coachable and are okay with fitness and okay with us working them, which is really nice to see. So, but yeah, I thought we had a good week of soccer, right? The week started with our senior night at home Monday night against New Rochelle, and a lot was on the line for us that game. I don't know if you remember that. It seems so long ago, but
I do.
it-
I want to say, right? So we went in as the 2 seed for Section 1, and New Rochelle was the 1 seed. And it was a
I think we were
scenario.
tied with the 2 seed.
Yes,
But
we
yeah,
were
yep,
tied. I'm
yep.
sorry.
That's okay.
And if we lost the game, there was no scenario where we were going to be 3rd or 4th. If we lost, we were going to be the 5th seed, having
Yeah.
to play a game today. And if we won or tied, we would end up as the 2nd seed with home field advantage, throughout the sectional tournament. So yeah, there was a lot on the line there for sure.
Yeah, yeah. And I'll tell you, it was nice to see all of our seniors play, right? So on senior day, we've got 12 seniors, so we got them all on the field. We were up 1-0 at halftime. We had the wind at our back. The wind was tough that night, right?
It was incredible. My
Yeah,
God.
yeah. Yeah, the forecast was for the wind to die down. So we had the wind at our backs in that first half, and it worked for us. We went up 1-0. But you were saying to me, like, at halftime or in the second half, like, what happened, Al Roker? And I
Yeah.
was like, it was the forecast, Coach. I'm telling you,
You
the
mentioned.
forecast was for the winds to die down. They did not.
Yeah, you said that at halftime that was the forecast. I'm sure that it was. And maybe it's because like it was in our face in the second half. I thought it was stronger.
Yeah.
Like it was just whipping. We had guys, trying to hit punts and hit long goal kicks, and to watch the ball just die like that and come backwards after going like 25, 30 yards. It was like, oh my goodness, and
Yeah.
we tried to put it down and play long and play hard balls and get it out as much as possible. But those times when we weren't able to, it was like, oh my God. And I know the wind was at our back in the first half, and it was strong. Listen, we definitely had a benefit to it, but man, that second half, the wind, it felt like at a movie when, if you saw the ball doing that, you'd be like, this is a little bit much. It's not really, and
Yeah.
no, every single bit of it.
Yeah, let's go back to the first half for a second, because Sean Vibrock scored a nice goal. He has just been so awesome for us for 3 straight years, right?
Yeah.
I love this kid. I am going to be devastated, when he's not in our uniform next year, because his work rate and work ethic and hustle and determination and nose for the goals, just unbelievable. Justin Ortiz, once again, made stuff happen for us and, played a ball across. And Austin, I think, was a little too close to the near post. So he just sort of flicked it along, and Sean was just,
popped it in the back of the net. Yeah, it was a really nice sequence, right? I think it started off a corner. The ball kind of got played back out to Logan Matthews, who kind of just kinda, chipped a little ball into the flank. It was really, really well done and well executed, and like you said, not, the way it was kinda drawn up where Austin, just kinda had to flick it on a little bit further across the goal mouth, but man, it was awesome when we broke through there in the first half. It was great. It was,
Yeah,
really well
and
done.
the New Rochelle goalkeeper's so good, right? So
Yeah.
for Sean to just bury that, I thought was awesome. But then you're right, going into that second half, the forecast didn't stick for us, and that wind, I felt like maybe it was just our, perception of what was going on, but I felt like the winds actually picked up in the second half,
Yeah.
and we were really, really, battling. But I tell you, I thought our guys in the back did such a good job of when they had to drive that ball out and clear that out. Sometimes we could pass and keep it on the ground, and obviously that's what you want to do whenever you're going in against the wind. But when we couldn't, and when we had to just, drive balls, I thought our guys in the back did just a fantastic job of just driving it hard and low, and getting that ball up to our attacking players. We always say the longest pass you can make is the best pass you can make, and when you've got that wind at your face, if you can hit that ball hard. And again, I thought our guys in the back did such a good job. Michael Versace, Justin Brandcamp, Uriel Botchway. How awesome was it to have him back
Yeah.
in that game? Dom Della back there. So I just thought those guys did such a good job of Jacob Matthew driving balls forward, accurately to the feet, of our attacking players. I remember years ago going to, the coaching school, the National Soccer Coaches Association of America. That's what it was called back then. I think it's United Soccer Coaches now. But there was a guy named Jeff Tipping, and Jeff Tipping went to Hartwick College. He was a great player at Hartwick, and he was the coach. He also coached, I think, at Hartwick, but was also coaching at Muhlenberg College at the time that he was working with us. In this week-long, national coaching school. And he would always say the longest pass you can make is the best pass you can make. And that's been a theme of us for years, right? Our players, for whatever reason, they just have this, 5-yard little vision that they see in front of them. And, they play, even in practice today, right? Some of our guys are playing these 5-yard passes, and we're just all over them. Like, what good does that do us? You got to be able to look longer. You got to be able to look further. And it's not just a kickball, right? It's the longest pass you can make is the best pass you can make. So you always got to look long. And when the wind is blowing in your face, it is just so critical for, all players, but especially guys in the back when you're in your own defensive third to drive that ball forward. And I thought they just did a great job, getting it up to Sean and to Lucas and to Austin. So I was really impressed with how we played in the back.
Yeah, I thought they did a wonderful job. They were fantastic, and it had to be really difficult playing into that wind and having a good team like New Rochelle, kind of bearing down. But they really did a great job. They navigated everything. We did concede later in the game, but really it's not like we were being bombarded either. I thought that
Yeah.
they did a fantastic job. I thought we played well in general, right? Especially in that second half. I think if you were to look at it objectively, it may not be the most, eye-popping soccer that we've played, but we did a good job. I think, like you said, the conditions were tumultuous, and
Yeah.
they
It's
did a
tough.
great job at, we did getting out of trouble, getting out of pressure, switching the point. Like we're a completely different soccer team now than we were, 5 weeks ago, and it's awesome because in a good way, right? Like
We're playing good
in a
soccer for
positive
sure.
way,
Yeah.
and that
Yep.
was kind of our hope. I remember being here a month ago being like, well, we came away with a win. We didn't really play very well, but I'm glad we're winning, and hopefully kind of we're able to figure it out somewhere along the way. And then somewhere along the way we did. And our guys
Yeah.
are just playing good soccer now.
Yeah.
And you see it even in our training sessions when we scrimmage and play 11v11 and stuff like that. They get it, and they're playing much better, and they're doing the things that we've prioritized and kind of barked at them over and over and over again. So it's really, really good. And suddenly now we're generating chances. We're not having a situation where we have to finish the one lone chance we get,
Yeah.
or we, are hoping for a set piece or something like that. It's we're playing quality soccer, generating goals, from the flow of play. In that New Rochelle game, all three of our goals came from the flow of play. We had that goal. I know it started on a corner, that first goal.
Right.
But in the second half, we put the second and third goal of the game away too, both from Lucas Reverso, or really
Yeah.
kind of caused by
Yeah.
Lucas Reverso,
Sure.
who
Yeah.
was just probably, I say probably, but the best ball striker on our team for my
Yeah. He's
money.
good.
The first ball where he put it on his left foot, strikes the ball rattles off the crossbar. And Austin Seipp did a wonderful job at following in and popping his header right into the back of the net on a rebound off the crossbar, which was just fantastic. Because how many times have we told guys, follow that in, whether it's the post, whether it's a goalkeeper spilling a ball or something like that. And then his second goal, with his right foot, right, where he just
Yeah.
that a ripped ball into the wind that just dipped below the crossbar, partially maybe because of the wind. Otherwise, it might have had eyes on the crossbar again. But my takeaway from those two goals was the way that we won it, right? The first ball, Logan Matthews from the attacking mid spot did an awesome job at pressuring and squeezing the ball into the sideline, winning it, getting it out to Sean Vibrock, who knocked it central. And then the second goal was Brandon Parker, senior, who was in the game, just working his tail off up top, chasing, forcing a center back into a turnover, getting the ball to Lucas to score. So it was really, really nice to generate goals that way, especially against, like we said, a team that's just so good and we have such respect for and are so well coached and organized. So, we went up 3-0 in like the, I don't know, 60th minute, 50th minute, something like that. We did concede later. You're not going to keep a team like New Rochelle down for a whole game. I was so happy with how we played and how we scored and how we were able to just put it together.
Yeah, I can't say enough about those 2 goals that we scored with Lucas Reverso. I mean, you're right, Austin gets credit for one, but I mean, and certainly we had some help, like you say, Logan and Sean and Brandon Parker. But I mean, the way Lucas hit that ball with his left foot was just so impressive, ringing off the crossbar, right? Yeah, and Austin just coming in and heading it in for us to go up 2-0. And then it felt like 5, maybe 8 minutes later, could have been longer. Lucas, a similar situation. We're able to win the ball defensively. We've talked about that a lot, about how we're defending. With the help of Brandon Parker, and I mean, ripped it with his right foot. And similar situation, but this one just snuck underneath the crossbar and went in. So he didn't need any help to finish that one. And again, we've got that wind in our face, but we won that second half 2-1, right? We won the game 3-1. But we won that second half 2-1 with that stiff wind going at us, and it just makes it all the more impressive to me that Lucas is firing those shots into the wind. You know what I mean? And with such a good New Rochelle goalkeeper, he even had trouble, with those shots. So I thought it was a nice win for us. Awesome to win that game 3-1. Awesome to get the second seed. And nice for us to do it on senior night too, where a lot of our seniors played an important role in us winning that game.
Yeah, 100%. And like we said, now we didn't have to play a game today, which we would have otherwise. We got to have a bunch of practices in a row. We're going to get home game, on Tuesday, and subsequently, if we win that one, we'll get to play at home again. So a lot of good things. And I don't know if you've realized we're undefeated at home, right? We haven't lost a game at home this year, so home field advantage is important. I think. So
Yeah.
getting that was huge to me. I was like, wow, we tied Ketchum at home and the Caswell Memorial game, and otherwise I think we won all of our home games. So that there's some value there, right? We play well at home. We play well in front of our fans on our home turf, and being able to play this game on Tuesday on our home turf is a huge benefit for us and well earned with that game against New Rochelle.
Yeah, so that'll be Tuesday night at 5 o'clock, right? That came out earlier. So we were able to get to the Arlington game. Earlier this morning, Arlington played against Ramapo. And again, just a really good soccer game. I mean, just watching all of this soccer this fall. I mean, two teams really doing a nice job keeping the ball on the ground. Arlington won the game 4-0, but Ramapo's got a good team. I mean, as we know, we struggled, with Ramapo, beat them both times, but I mean, they've got a really good, solid quality team. And for Arlington to beat them 4-0 was impressive this morning. They looked really good. But when you're in the quarterfinals, I mean, I know people are saying, "Oh, a 2-7 matchup. It's a tough draw to get for Arlington." But look at the rest of the bracket. I think Mamaroneck plays Scarsdale, right? Is that true?
I think so.
Or do they play New Rochelle? I think they may play New Rochelle. I think Scarsdale plays White Plains. I mean, all of these teams are just so good. When you get to the quarterfinals in Section 1 and you're left with the top 8 teams, there's simply no easy game. I mean, it's just that simple. Yeah, let me take a look. I don't want to give people yeah, so the 4-5 game is North Rockland against Mamaroneck. Now, we know how good North Rockland is. We've seen Mamaroneck on film. They look awesome. I
Yeah, they're
mean, they
good.
look like a really good soccer team. So for North Rockland to win our league, to have such a good season, and oh, by the way, your first match in sectionals, they got to buy like we did, but your first match in sectionals is to go up against Mamaroneck, a team that was leading the Section 1 rankings, for most of the season. I mean, that is such a tough draw. But again, everybody's got a tough draw. So yeah, we've got a tough one against Arlington. Never easy to play Arlington, but everybody else has a tough match too.
Yeah.
Scarsdale's got to play White Plains. We saw White Plains earlier in the year. They were so good. I was so impressed with them. Scarsdale, 3-time defending section champ. Say no more. But it's tough. When you get into this sectional tournament, especially in Section 1.
Yeah, I
Not
think the
easy.
the bottom line is whoever wins, Class AAA is going to have to play 3 really tough
Yeah.
games in a row,
Yeah.
and they will deserve whoever wins will deserve it because they will have played 3 really, really good opponents, in a row. So, and I'm sure it's that way with the other classes as well. We know, AAA but that's where we are, but double A and single A and down the line, is just filled with quality teams, I know that like where I work at Panis, right? They won their league, for the second year in a row and they ended up the 5 seed and had to play Somers today. So it's the same type of deal, right? Like you win your just like North Rockland, you win your league, you win 10 games, you do all this, and then you end up having to play another tough game just to get to the quarterfinals. So Section 1 is just there's really really good quality soccer. There's really good teams. When you were talking about that Ramapo Arlington game before, I was thinking watching Ramapo and Spring Valley both this year, they both remind me of Mayapack last year, right? Where Mayapack last year was trying to play good soccer and they were doing all the things that you needed to do and they were coached really well. And you could tell, though, they were just kind of getting into the swing of things and figuring it out. And this year, I think they were like the 1 or 2 seed in their
Yeah.
class. Like,
Yeah.
so those two teams, it wouldn't shock me if either of them are just absolutely fantastic next year. Because like you said, the score is not indicative of their quality, and their tactics and the way they're coached and stuff like that. They're good, solid teams who can beat anybody, if they catch the right breaks.
Yeah, you're right. Mayapack is the 2 seed in the Double A. Harrison got the 1 seed.
Okay.
Fox Lane, who we scrimmaged earlier in the year, is the 4 seed. They'll play against Lakeland, our buddy Tim Horahan,
Yeah. They beat
in a
Brewster today.
quarterfinal match. Yeah, so I mean, you talk about like again a quarterfinal match. Lakeland has to go up against Fox Lane, right? That's a 4-5 game. It's at Fox Lane, so that's a real tough draw for Lakeland. But again, everybody's got a tough draw. I
And
mean, there
and
are
it's
no
a
easy teams.
It's a real tough draw for Fox Lane too, right? I want to
Yeah,
say,
yeah,
Lakeland they've won like 10 in a row or 10 of their
yeah,
last 11, something
yep,
like that.
yep.
So, just to get into the semifinals, you have to beat such a quality opponent. And I want to say White Plains had something like that too, where in their last 12 games they were 10-2 or something like that. So, where you finish up isn't necessarily indicative of how you've been playing all year. I mean, we're sitting here saying that we're playing the best soccer that we've played all season right now, which is what you want. And there's plenty of other teams where that's the case too. So it's just it'll be a very exciting week, kind of however things break. We hope that they break our way and that we continue to play the quality soccer that we have, because it's just great to see. It feels wonderful, watching these guys play well and watching their confidence come. I was thinking also when you were talking about the two goals, or the goal and the assist that Lucas Reverso have, right? To have not just the ability, the ball strike, but the confidence to actually pull the trigger on those two shots in that scenario, in that tight of a game, with the wind just bearing into your face, it's just awesome, right? And it speaks to our initial thoughts on what we thought over the summertime, or late in the summer, when we had a conversation and decided that Lucas Reverso needed to be on the field and needed to start. We had originally kind of thought that he would be maybe our first or second guy off the bench, right? And then he just was so good all summer, and was very similar to what we're talking about now. He gets the ball and he has a nose to score. He wants to get forward. He wants to beat guys. He wants to get to the goal. He wants to score. He's hungry. And we ended up kind of shifting Justin Ortiz out wide, where he's been unbelievable, to get Lucas to start on the field. And man, like, when things work out well, it's so nice. So listen, kudos to us, okay, on seeing that, or maybe not kudos to us for not seeing it sooner. One of those two things.
Right. Yeah, I think you got to give all the credit to Lucas, right? I mean, he has just played so well. But like you say, it's so nice to see him have confidence, and to be aggressive, and to want to go forward, and to want to be dangerous in the final third of the field, and to have the confidence to pull the trigger. That was not happening early in the year, right? Guys were not shooting when they had the opportunity. Guys were not trying to be dangerous in that final third. Guys were not playing with confidence, and we were urging the players, begging the players, right? You guys are good players, please, be confident in that final third of the field. Be aggressive in that final third of the field. Try to be dangerous in that final third of the field. And it was falling on deaf ears there for the first half of the season, but they've turned it around, and they're again, all the credit goes to them, because they've really worked incredibly hard to make some good stuff happen for us in that final third of the field. And now we're creating really good quality scoring chances, and like you say, not just relying on one or two set pieces to try to get a goal. With all of our players, I mean, our players weren't confident to pull the trigger and to shoot. We definitely weren't creating quality chances for us in the final third of the field. We weren't being dangerous in that final third of the field, but a lot of that's changed. And now we're not just relying on that, one or two set pieces, to try to get us a goal, and then hanging on for dear life, with our goalkeeper standing on their head. So, credit to Lucas, and credit to the rest of our guys for really playing some good soccer at this point in the season.
Yeah, they've done a great job, and they've come along so well, and despite being asked to do different things and play different spots, and move, and maybe do things that they're not used to doing with their club teams or anything like that. Listen, you and I have said all year how coachable and how nice it is to coach this group of guys, and they've answered the call every single time, including now. And listen, this is what we wanted, right? We wanted to be playing our best soccer in October. We wanted to be improving as the season went on, and we've kind of made those things happen. And these guys have made those things happen, more specifically. So this is the group of guys that I'm thrilled to go to battle with, because they want it. I think they see that we're playing better, right? They're getting the feedback. Sometimes you start to play a little bit better, and as a coach, you see it, and the guys on the field don't necessarily see it as much, or maybe your results don't show it as much. But right now things are full speed ahead, going really well, and just hope that we can keep that momentum for at least another week.
Yeah, so let's talk about the practices that we've had, right? Because I thought we had some really good practices, trying to get guys healthy, and trying to just clean up, any of the little issues that we have, But I thought we had a really good week of practice. That we did a lot of fitness with the guys because we had that bye. We figured, you know what, let's work the guys hard, and the guys really did work hard. I mean, how many times were we up and down that hill, near the baseball field? And the guys worked hard. The JV guys just love these young guys that have
Yeah.
come and have just worked their tails off and have really played good soccer, right? I mean, they are skillful and
They're
intelligent
good.
soccer players. Yeah, they really
They're
are.
good
They
soccer
really
players,
are, and
man,
they work
you
hard,
know?
right? I mean, they're running just as hard in these fitness activities that the rest of our guys are. So,
Right. If
uh,
and when they grow, man, watch out. These
yeah,
guys
they
are
are small.
so
They are
good,
small.
but
Yep.
they're
Yep.
so good, right? Like, I mean,
Yeah.
we're playing 11v11 today, and you know, our varsity guys, our starters, guys who play all the time, just getting frustrated because a lot of these JV guys, they just won't let them have the ball. You know, there were times when Uriel Botchway in the back is like, guys, how are we letting them keep possession? And it's not that you're letting them; these guys are just
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
they've been awesome, and I'm so glad they're with us. And like you said, they are right in there with the fitness. They're right in there with you know, just as fast as our guys, you know, just as good with the ball. And they're 13, 14 years old. So man, if we can keep them, you know, going and kind of build on the things and teach them, we've got a real bright future ahead of us. And you know, I'm just excited for it.
Yeah, and they seem like good kids too, right? Like very similar to the guys we've got on the varsity team now too,
Yeah.
where they're very coachable, they're very receptive to any advice that we're giving them, and the type of style that we want to play both offensively and defensively. I think we've definitely sent them a message, and you always want to do this, right? When you bring up the young JV players, this year we brought up a lot more than we typically have, but you sort of want to send them a message to, hey, this is what we expect at the varsity level, and this is the kind of effort that we need, and this is, what practices usually look like, and this is the intensity that you kind of gotta, play with at this level, because each, level that you go up, modified to JV, JV to varsity, varsity to Division III college level, Division III to Division I college level, it just gets tougher and tougher, and the time on the ball becomes less and less, and you got to play quick, and you got to play fast, and you got to play with a ton of intensity, and you got to have your head up ready to rock and roll, and you have to be fit, right? And I'll tell you, just looking back on our season, we weren't playing well early in the year. I think two things, I said this to the guys a couple times this week, two things saved us: our goalkeeping play and our fitness, because we were just so fit, even early in the year when we weren't playing good soccer. Our fitness was still bailing us out, because defensively we were just able to chase things down, and our goalkeepers, standing on their heads, making some good saves, keeping us in games. But they're just so impressed with the fitness. And, now at this point in the season, I mean, we've got some guys that are banged up, and some guys that are injured. We might be out of starter, I think, for Tuesday's game against Arlington, but I don't really think that's injury related, right? So I feel like it's, for us, it's, a real good indication that if you're fit, you can really play at this level.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, right? And I commented to you, I think it was yesterday, right? Like after we did the fitness and ran the hill, I said these guys work so hard. Like they've never dogged it once this year with the fitness.
Yeah, it's true.
Sometimes in different activities or play,
Yeah.
you throw your hands up in frustration, but when we come down to we're sprinting or we're running or we're doing hills, these guys show up, they work hard, they push each other, they motivate each other. And I just remember, last year when Connor Fulton was assisting us, and he had talked, we had some issues with our camaraderie and our gelling as a team, and we were frustrated. And Connor said, "Listen, when I played for you guys, like that fitness helped galvanize us." He said that there was value in doing something hard together, that just helped with some of the bringing guys together and working together for a common goal. And you see that, right? Like even when guys are frustrated with each other, when we're on that hill or when we're running sprints, they're pushing each other, they're pulling for each other, they're motivating each other. They all want to be there. They work incredibly hard. So I think it's been a huge thing, not just for our quality of play on the field, because again, the last couple of years we've just been unfit. We've given up goals in the 50th, 60th, 70th minute time after time after time. But it has helped bring these guys together, I think, as well. When you say, guys, let's take a little jog, and you start heading towards the hill, like every guy is good. They're
Yeah.
out there are beating you. So it's been awesome, and it's I mean it's not going anywhere. This is kind of back to the our new normal is same as the
Yeah.
old normal,
Yeah.
minus a little hiccup that we had there. Never again. These guys being the fittest, fastest team is so valuable in high school soccer.
Yeah, it was
You
good to
know.
see Connor Fulton, right? He came back, I think, for his grandmother's 80th birthday party, and such a great kid. He just stops by Jay and catches one of our games, and we got to talk to him after the game, right? And he was really impressed. He's like, "Wow, you guys look so good." And you and I immediately said, "It's you, Connor. Thank you." And he was like, "What are you talking about?" And we said exactly what you just said. You told us, that when you played for us, we were so good fitness wise, and we worked you guys, and we got away from that. And credit to us for listening to Connor, right, and for listening to some constructive criticism and thinking about it and looking in the mirror and saying, you know what, maybe we have gotten too soft on these guys. Maybe we aren't pushing these guys like we need to push these guys. We turned it around, and we really focused on fitness. And we said it even from January, right? We brought these guys in for our winter program, and we had them in the weight room, and we had them doing sprints in the gym. Credit to them for coming Sunday morning and getting up early and doing all of that. But you and I were committed to that in January, and now in late October, it's definitely paid off, where we've got guys that are just able to fly up and down the field. So it's definitely a good feeling, but, we got to give a lot of credit, to Connor, for pointing that out to us. And then again, I think you and I could take some credit for looking in the mirror and listening to that constructive criticism from somebody we really respect and say, hey, you know what? I think he's right. I think we've messed up here. We've got to hold these guys to a higher standard. We have,
Yeah.
and the guys have met us, at that level.
I know that we stressed this all winter long. We talked about, right, how valuable Coach Brent DiVittorio is with the track program. And I mean, if you take a look at our players, right, like look at our guys who ran track over the winter, over the spring. You have Justin Ortiz, who never needs to come off the field. He can play 80 minutes on Tuesday if he needs to.
Yeah.
And cover a ton of ground. Justin Brandcamp never needs to come off the field, right, and
Yeah.
covers as much ground playing in the back as our midfielders do.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have Chris Malacone, who made the varsity team for the first time, has started a couple games, scored a game-winning goal against Port Chester. All right. Darren Graveline, who again made the team for the first time, largely in part because of his fitness and his speed. Michael Versace, who is starting in the back for us now and has started all year, started out wide earlier, right? How important has his speed and fitness been? Where these guys, if they hadn't run track, they would either be playing less, not playing as well, not playing at all, or
Right.
maybe not even on the team. Right.
Right.
Like, so when guys, just to tell you now, right, when it's next July and you're asking, what can I do to see more time? You should have done it already,
Yeah,
right? Like,
might be too late.
yeah,
Yeah.
right. Like you need to run track in the winter. You need to run track in the spring, unless you're on, a John Jay spring or winter sport, right? You can run track for
Yeah.
John Jay and
Yeah.
still play club soccer. I
Yeah.
assure you, Justin Ortiz plays a whole lot of
Yeah.
club soccer
Yeah.
and still runs track, and he's an absolute beast on the field because
Yeah.
of it. He has been probably our best player this year. He doesn't put a ton of goals in the back of the net, or necessarily do things on the score sheet, but he gives defenders fits. All right. I'll remember the White Plains coach, after our game, just commenting about Justin, being like, that kid is so good. And I'm like, yeah, I think he's probably our best player. Now, he didn't score, right? He
Right.
didn't score, but
Right.
he is just relentless.
Yeah.
We were playing 11v11 today, right? We commented he was defending, like, I don't know, 3 yards off of our
Yeah.
defensive
Yeah.
end line, right?
Yeah.
And then 3 seconds later, he's in our attacking third. Like, it's because, he works with Coach DiVittorio because
Yeah.
he wants it. So like, if you're someone who's interested in maybe making the team when you didn't make the team, maybe getting more minutes when you didn't get any, all right, maybe, earning a starting spot, like, I mean, it's not a coincidence, right? These guys are fit. They can play. They can run. Like, so many of our guys have such talent with the ball and such ability to play that sometimes that's the deciding factor, right? Like if you can't run and this guy can run and you're both pretty even with the ball, like I'm gonna put the guy who can cover ground on the field,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
It's that simple.
And like you say, if you're not playing a winter sport or a spring sport, no matter what school you're at, John Jay, it doesn't matter any of these other schools, anybody else listening from other schools. I mean, I don't know how it works at most schools, but I think it works very similar to how it works at John Jay, where track practice is 2:30 to 3:45 primarily, right? I mean, it's right after school. So yeah, you've got club practice at 5:30, 6 o'clock. No big deal. What are you doing after school for that hour or hour and 15 minutes or hour and a half? You're going across the street, you're getting Dunkin' Donuts, you're putzing around. And listen, I like to putz around and go to Dunkin' Donuts like the rest of them. But if you want to be good, if you want to make a difference on your varsity team, that is just a resource that you need to take advantage of. Like you say, if you're not playing a winter sport, if you're not playing a spring sport, for the guys that are playing lacrosse or basketball or wrestling, obviously a different story. I mean, that's your season and you work hard in your specific sport. But if you're not playing another sport, and it's awesome for college resumes too, right? You could put on there, varsity soccer, varsity winter track, varsity spring track, or varsity soccer, varsity basketball, varsity spring track.
Especially if you want to play college soccer. Like, I don't know if these guys have looked at like the summer fitness packets or what these teams do in their training for their fitness. But like a lot of guys graduate high school and they're just not prepared and they can't handle that. Doing track will help you with that
Oh yeah,
aspect. And again, I if other guys do it at other schools, great, good for them. But I care about the John Jay guys doing it. And we have an unbelievable resource, right? We've talked about Coach DiVittorio being a former soccer player, having conversations with guys and deciding like, what do you want to do? Do you want to be able to sprint super fast? Do you want to have an engine that doesn't quit while also giving you proper running technique so that you won't get hurt, so that you're not
yeah,
running on your heel, so that you're not, he sent us this article about the butt kicking epidemic, that's
right,
causing all these hamstring injuries and these
right.
just resources that we've shared with our guys. But having him there every single day is just so invaluable. And talk to the guys on our team who have done it and see what they say. All right. Ask Justin Ortiz, ask Justin Brandcamp, ask these guys if they think that it benefited them in soccer. They are on the field all the time. I assure you they will tell you yes. All right. And I'm telling you directly that it's one of the biggest reasons why. It's not because they ran track, but it is because they ran track, because they're so fit and so fast and able to, in the 70th minute run with the same gusto that they run with in the 10th minute of the game.
I forgot all about that, Coach. One of the first times we asked Coach DiVittorio to come and work with our guys, I think he said to us, "Well, do me a favor, just line them up and have them run a little bit. I just want to see them run." And one guy ran, and then a second guy ran, and he said, "Boy, that guy, does he have hamstring problems?" And we were like, yeah."
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then the fifth guy ran, and he's like, "Man, does he have hamstring problems?" And we're like, "What are you, like a magician or something? Like, how do you know all the guys that are running that are hurt?" And he's like, "Their form is terrible. This is what they're doing, and they're not running the correct way. So I'm not surprised at all that they've got hamstring issues." So not only just getting out there on the track and running fast, but to have him as a resource to do it the correct way, right? Like we do it all the time at soccer, like how to strike the ball properly, how to position your body. I mean, all the little fundamental things that are important in soccer. Well, there's a lot of fundamental things that are important in running too, right? I don't think about it because I've never run track before. I just go out there and try to run as fast as I can. But there is a technique to it. There is a way to do it properly, and there is a way to really help you increase your speed. And we are so lucky to have Coach DiVittorio.
Guess what? All those guys who ran track, not a single injury amongst
Yeah,
them,
it's
right?
a great
Not a
point.
single injury
It's a
amongst them,
great
right?
point.
I mean, listen, you get tackled and you have an injury, that happens, but like not a quad or a groin or a hamstring in the bunch, right? They're all healthy as could be, have been ready for every single game, completely good to go. And, I can't say enough good things. And again, if you're not doing that as a player, then, you know, don't ask me what you can do in September. Like
Yeah.
I told you last year, I'm telling you again now. If you're not going to do it, then your expectation should change and be aligned with someone who's not going to do that, where you should expect anyone who does that to probably be more prepared to play than you.
And just to in the interest of being fully transparent, Coach, right today at practice, as you know, we're watching the guys, run through 11v11. You and I are talking to each other about some of the juniors we've got, and man, I don't know, how much time this guy's going to get next year. And a couple times we were like, he's just got to run spring track or winter track. I mean, these are players that on our team that they just can't cover the kind of ground that Sean Vibrock can, and Justin Ortiz can, and Justin Brandcamp, and Michael Versace. So we are a little worried that, some of our returning players, some of our juniors, are not gonna see any time increase next year. And that's not a given, right? I think a lot of times players are like, oh yeah, I was a junior, I set the bench, so now it's my time
Yeah,
to play. No,
yeah.
no, you've got to earn it. Whether you're a junior or a freshman or a sophomore or a senior, we play good players. We play players that are fit. We play players that can do it and that want to do it and that put in the time, to be prepared to do it. So yeah, some of the juniors that we've got on our team and some of the JV guys that we pulled up, can't emphasize enough the importance to them of, just getting yourself and getting your body in a position where you can really play some high level high school soccer. Because as we've talked about it, we got this week coming up for us, Coach, which is brutal, right? We've got Arlington on Tuesday, 5 o'clock at our place for the quarterfinals, and then if we're lucky enough to win that one, we'll play in the semifinals. We're going to play the winner of the Scarsdale White Plains game. Again, what a quarterfinal match that is. And on the other side, you've got New Rochelle going up against either Ketchum or Portchester. They played at 6 o'clock this evening. This is Saturday night that we're recording this. It's about 8:30, 9 o'clock right now. So that game is done. I'm not too sure if Ketchum won it or Portchester won it, but Portchester. Just to give you an idea, the 8 and 9 seeds, we tied Ketchum and beat Ketchum 2-1. We beat Portchester was it 2-1 or one
Two,
nothing?
two,
Two to
two to
2-1.
one. We were down one
Barely
nothing.
won the game. Yeah, barely won the game. Yeah. So these guys are 8 and 9 seeds. So just to give you an idea of how good all the teams are, on both sides of the draw, that is, it's going to be tough. It's not going to be easy, but, and that game, the semis will be on Thursday, right? And then the finals are Sunday at 12 noon. At Lakeland High School, for, like you say, of those 8 teams, whichever 2 teams can make it through, those 2 incredibly difficult quarterfinal and semifinal matches. Those 2 teams will meet at Lakeland High School on 12 noon at 12 noon on Sunday, for the right to call themselves Section 1 Class AAA champs.
Yeah, I'm pumped, man. It's felt like it's been out of reach for the last couple of years where we always have the idea going into a season that's our goal. But you could see as the last couple seasons went on and we didn't get better and things weren't working out. It didn't seem like it was in the cards, but this group of guys I think can do it. I
Yeah,
think they can
definitely.
do it if they're focused and they play the way they're capable. It's going to take a really really good performance to take our guys down, and I'm pumped to feel that way because I haven't felt that way in a little bit. In a
Yeah,
while.
yeah. So yesterday we had the Hall of Fame dinner, and I was talking to Kurt Jesman. We had Darren Gomez from 2012, who graduated in 2012. He got inducted into the John Jay Athletic Hall of Fame yesterday, and I was talking to Kurt Jesman, our athletic director, and he was asking me about the different teams, and I said, man, the good news is this tournament's wide open. I mean, like really any of these 8 teams that are left can beat any of the other 8 teams, and and then I said to him, but by the same token, the bad news is this tournament's wide open. Anybody could really win this thing. So, but you're right. We are definitely, capable. We're just as good as any of the other teams. Any of the other 8 teams left, we are just as good as any of these other 8 teams. But these other 7 teams, excuse me, are pretty good. But it was nice to have that Hall of Fame dinner. I really enjoyed that. That's the second time that we've had that at John Jay, where I've been the MC for the event, and we started that out. Kurt Jesman and myself and Dave Ketzalao, the principal at John Jay, started talking And before we inducted the graduates into the Hall of Fame, we talked about the sports going on this fall season at John Jay. We've had some really good performances this
Yeah.
fall. For example, our football team is undefeated, and they are the number one seed in the Section 1 playoffs. Our girls volleyball team, who are the defending Section 1 champions, won their league, and they are the number one seed going into the volleyball sectional tournament. We're the number two seed. Our girls soccer team is the number two seed going into their sectional tournament. Our field hockey team is the number four seed in this sectional tournament. Our girls tennis team, undefeated and league champs.
Wow.
So we've had a really good fall at John Jay with a lot of our teams. And on Monday, we play on Tuesday, but on Monday we've got a field hockey game at 3. And then a girls soccer game at 5:45.
That's
At
awesome.
quarterfinals, yeah. So that'll be fun. So it should be a good, exciting week at John Jay. The week actually ends with football, competing in the quarterfinals, and volleyball competing in the quarterfinals. But again, both of those teams, like us, will have a home field advantage. So that'll be at John Jay. And the place was hopping last night. Football game. There was a field hockey game. There was this Hall of Fame, dinner. I mean, there were just so many people at John Jay, and so many sports people. I just love it. It's just an awesome environment.
I saw some pictures on social media. I saw Coach O'Hare was there with some of his
Yeah.
former football
Yep.
guys. I saw Caitlin McGuire
Yeah.
was inducted for the girls soccer
Yeah.
with Coach Sullivan was there.
Yep.
So it looked
Yep.
like a really, really, awesome event. And some fantastic athletes.
Yeah.
Well deserving being.
Yeah. Yep. So true. So true. Good time too. Good time to just see, the graduates come back to John Jay. They used to have this. They used to combine it with Jay and Ketchum, and they used to have it at like Villa Borghese. They would have it at some off,
Nah.
yeah, but it's so much better after COVID. They do the Ketchum inductees at Ketchum, on the campus, in the cafeteria, in the gym, at a football game. They announce them at halftime of the football game. They have them walk out on the football field, and we do the same thing at Jay, and it's just really awesome. And the Hall of Fame inductees, when they come back, they look around, they're like, wow, I've had some upgrades here. The cafeteria looks really good. That turf field, boy, I wish I had that turf field when I played here,
Yeah.
So it is nice to get them to come back. Not everybody can make it. Some people live in Los Angeles, and Darren Gomez is out in Connecticut. He just has he just had a 2-week-old daughter, I think, so he wasn't able to make it. But yeah, it was great to see Samantha McGuire. Man, what a soccer player she was, right? And her older sister, Ashley, who I coached the girls back in the day when girls soccer was played in the spring. And Ashley was just, man, she was such a great soccer player. And
Unbelievable.
she came up to me, gave me a hug, and said, oh, good to see you, coach, yada, yada, yada. And then she walked away. And again, I'm talking to Kurt Jesman and Maureen Myers, and they're like, who's that? I'm like, Samantha McGuire was good, but so was her older sister,
Yeah.
Ashley. That was Ashley, and she was so good for me as like an 8th grader on the varsity team. She was just,
She's
what a
unbelievable.
fantastic, yeah,
Unbelievable
what a
soccer
fantastic
player. Like,
yeah, yeah.
I remember her trying out for the boys soccer team at Van Wyck, and she should have been on the team. She was so good.
Right.
She's so good. And another fun fact about Ashley McGuire, I took her to the junior prom at John Jay.
I didn't know
All right?
that.
Yes.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yes, I did.
That is
Yeah.
awesome. Oh,
Yeah,
good
she's
stuff.
just an unbelievable player. Great.
Yeah.
She's a great person.
She is a great person too, right? I mean, and again, it really, restores your faith in humanity if you needed it to be restored when these people come back to John Jay. And, Ashley was one of my best players. So, as well as I do, sometimes with your best players, you have a difficult relationship with, because you're pushing them and you really expect them to shoulder so much of, what's going on with the team. But she walked into that cafeteria, laid eyes on me, came right over, I had to come over, coach, how you doing? So it's always good to see, the graduates, especially, the best players, and Darren Gomez too, talking to him on the phone and emailing him back and forth. It was really good to touch base with him too. So good times, a good fall season at John Jay, and yeah, fingers crossed. Let's hope we can play a few more games this fall season, coach.
Yeah, I'm having, definitely the most fun I've had in a while. I don't want it to end, I really don't. I love, the training sessions we're having. I love, how hard these guys are working. I just really love this group of guys, and I don't want it to be over. So, here's to giving it everything on Tuesday, and then hopefully again on Thursday. And like we said, whoever comes out the AAA champion will have to have beaten three really good teams, and I just hope it's us.
Yeah. Yep. I'm with you there for sure. Fingers crossed. I got my fingers crossed.
Yeah, me too.
All righty, coach. Well, another good week. We'll be back next week. Boy, what a big one next week's going to be, right? I mean, we're gonna recap the Section 1 tournament. I mean, this is such a
Yeah.
tough tournament, and it really is just squeezed into 1 week. So it should be a good episode next week. 24 next week.
No, 23. 23
Okay.
next week.
Oh,
Yeah,
today's
23.
22.
Today's
Okay.
22.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. So we started episode 22 talking about Align Pilates and, Mrs. New Pilates studio. Her number in soccer,
22.
22.
All right. There
Zoe's
you
her
go.
favorite number. She said she loves 22 because there are 2 twos in the number 22. I was like, all right.
As a math teacher, you got to like that, right?
You know what my
Something.
favorite number is, Coach? 13, because I was born on April 13th. So I always wore unlucky 13, but I never thought it was unlucky because April 13th to me was, was the best day ever. So I was always 13. But yeah, Mrs. Seipp was number 22, and this is episode 22, and we opened it up and we close it on her Pilates studio, thealignpilates.com, in Hopewell Junction, right across the street from Pizza Village. You saw her the other day, right? You were at Pizza
I saw
Village.
her running. Yeah,
she
I was picking up
ran
a
across
pizza.
the street, got a salad, and then she ran back across to her studio. So yeah,
I was not getting a salad. I was, unfortunately picking up a pizza for my niece and nephew.
Okay.
For my niece and nephew. I may have had a slice. I may have had 2 slices, but it was for my niece and nephew who I had to go watch and pick up.
All right. Well, good stuff. Thanks again for putting this together, Coach. Thanks for everybody out there for listening and watching, and good luck to all the remaining teams left in the Section 1 tournament, from Class AAA down to, what do we do, Class B these days, or Class D?
I think they go down to D, right?
Yeah. So a lot of good soccer to be played this week. So good luck to everyone, and we'll see everybody back here next week, hopefully.
Yeah. See you next week, everybody. Good luck.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Take care.
Take care. Bye-bye.